Two other questions, Dana. Number one, do you think GSP now has to give Anderson Silva a run for the money at number one, in your opinion? And secondly, you had talked so much about BJ not being big enough to fight these guys. Do you think size was a difference in this fight?
I don't. I think the first fight showed that size wasn't a difference. I'm not going to use size as anything. George beat him tonight. Period. Bottom line. What was the other question?
I just asked, do you think does he give Anderson Silva a run for the money now in your opinion?
No, I still wouldn't call him pound for pound the best in the world, but I'd say, yeah, he's number two. No doubt about it. Anderson has been annihilating everybody for a long time. George has some work to do now. George takes out Thiago Alves, and he's on his way.
Question for Lyoto, and then a question for Dana. Lyoto, you've been fighting the UFC for a while now, and you've been very dominant, but you haven't been able to finish that many guys. But tonight, not only did you finish Thiago Silva, but you had him in trouble a number of times. Have you changed anything in your approach to focus more on trying to finish, or is it just the same thing, and it was sort of a natural thing that was going to come?
Eu mudei algumas coisas no treinamento, né? Fiz um treinamento mais bem acompanhado do preparador, junto com meu pai, meus irmãos e o preparador físico, e consegui uma grande vitória.
I changed up a lot, quite a few things in my training. I've got a nutritionalist. I trained a lot with my brothers, and my father helped a lot more through this training camp and just on the finer points of my game.
Okay, and Dana, is Lyoto going to fight Rashad Evans next? And if so, when are you looking at that fight for?
We don't have him scheduled to fight Rashad next, but he's in the mix. He's in the mix. He'll probably have a title shot before the end of the year. And the thing that I said about this kid, since the first time I ever saw him, if you think back to Matt Hughes, Randy Couture, even Chuck Liddell, any of the guys who have been the big stars here the past 10 years, they weren't barn burners when they first came into the UFC. It wasn't like highlight reels and excitement. What happens is guys get into the UFC, takes them a little while, they have to feel like this is their home, they got to start to get the feel for it, get some fights under their belt, and I said when Lyoto gets that, he's going to be very dangerous, and I think he's going to be one of the greatest fighters in MMA, and every time he comes out and fights, he proves it even more and more. And that Tito fight was his first real big fight with big crowd, big energy, and he looks better every time he fights. I think the kid's going to be amazing.
And just as a follow-up, are you going to wait for the fight between Rampage and Jardine to announce the next? Okay.
Exactly. He asked me if I was going to wait till Jardine and Rampage to announce who will get the next title shot, and I said yes.
Okay, Dana, there you go. First question was already answered. I'll move on to the next one. Let's stay in the light heavyweight division. I was a little surprised by one fight I watched tonight, and that's this young man over here, Jon Jones.
Me too.
I know Stephan Bonner. I know what kind of fighter he is, and I know he's a very tough out for anybody. And he handled him. Jon handled him pretty good. He's such a young fighter. He's so new to the UFC, but he looks like a guy who looks like he's quickly getting into the mix. Would you agree?
Yeah, he's another one. Joe Silva and I were just talking to him, and he's young. Same thing I just said about Lyoto. This kid's going to get more and more experience, and he looks like he already feels comfortable in there. A kid this young coming in, and even though he's got a 7-0 record, fighting somebody like Stephan Bonner, and anybody who saw the fight tonight, Stephan Bonner came in there and was going after him. Bonner's a tough guy who can take big shots, and Stephan wanted to win bad tonight, and this kid shut him out.
I want to ask you now, John, this win, what was your game, your fight plan going in? Are you satisfied with your performance? And what did you learn from this fight that you believe will make you an even better fighter in the future?
To start off, yes, I'm definitely satisfied with my performance tonight. A lot of my game plan was just to really utilize my strength, my main strength, which I don't think is a secret, my Greco-Roman wrestling. I put lots of time in, years of camps and all these different clubs, and I don't think you're going to just be able to train your Greco for a training camp and think to stop my takedowns. And as far as what's next, I'm just going to leave that in the hands of Mr. Silva and Mr. White, and I'm just going to take it one match at a time. And I guess my main goal right now is just to work on my ground game and become a better striker and give some of these bigger names some problems.